welcome in to the new members and to the old members that have found their way back to the community. I need you just as much as you need me. In this morning's update, as we can see, XRP is down about 0.5%, but that does not tell the story. XRP last night around midnight came down to about 46 cents and some change. We came outside of the pattern formation just to very quickly pull back up, which looks like a fake out as of last night. What happened here? We have the technical target to the upside, which if you look at it in today's terms, it's essentially right at 54.2 cents. If it were to break down, 42.75 cents, as we have to keep that there just in case. But as of right now, it looks like it's on the top side of town. Looks like we're getting that support hit right here at 496. So if you are leveraged right now, make sure you watch. If it breaks under that 4946, you're going to want to pay very close attention to this, because if it breaks below 4946, this would very well in the 4-hourly turn into a reversal candle. But as of right now, this looks like we could be starting to get hot here this weekend, or at least on this Friday. It looks like we could be on the start of a push up to that 54.2 cents. That can be invalidated at any time, as we found out yesterday, if it comes back below this 495 and starts pulling back down. But what we did yesterday was we hit a nice hit on support, a little wick below. But other than that, we came down to about the 46 cent and some change mark. I think it was 46. What was it on this one? 466. And I came on last night at almost 12 o'clock, 12 a.m., to show if it were to break down, how it would go to 42.75 area. But if we could find some bullish steam, how we still have that target at 54.25. First signal would be to get past this, and we already are, the first attempt here at this 495. Now, to confirm this signal, we need to get up and over that 508 mark. If we're on top of 508, it should open up the door to that move to 54.10. So right now, it looks like we could be starting something here this morning. So pay very close attention to this formation. Let's set up just like this, because we have a bullish cross here, 20 cross the 50 and the 100. And if we can get a little hot here, which it looks like a small reversal in the 30-minute, but if we can come down and bounce off of approximately where I put this around that 494 now, this should be able to garner some attention here for a little bit of a move up. If it falls back within this pattern, well, we obviously know this is a fake out, and it's not going anywhere. So that's what we're looking at right now. I'm just making sure that this is lined up perfectly. There we go. So that's what we're looking at right now very clearly. XRP's got one of two choices here this morning on this Friday morning. XRP can either bounce off of this structure, because to me, I know it looks like a gigantic bear flag, but until it breaks down, this is a mini bull flag that formed within this gigantic bear flag. So it is not uncommon for something like this to go ba-boom, 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 up and then down if it is bearish. So you're looking for the retest and then the reversal if it is going to go down. Otherwise, you're looking for the continuation up. And we can see this is a nice, I don't care what anybody says, that's a V-shaped recovery right there. So you're more likely to buy this today than yesterday. If you were in this position and you were tempted to buy it yesterday but you didn't, this would be the more likely scenario to buy it, because we have this V-shaped recovery. And like I said, if I was looking for a targeted play, I would look for the retest down here at around 495. And if you're looking to go balls to the wall, or if you're looking to take a shot, 495, we're right in that area, but 495, and then you'd have to have a pretty immediate stop loss as well if you're looking to play this game. Because if you look at and this is not on spot, this is if you're doing a leverage trade. And I got a lot of messages in my email overnight about people that wanted to go long. And like I told the people last night, you can go long here, but what happens if you have the drop down to support? And that's exactly what ended up playing out yesterday. Now, the theory is if this move is ready to go, we should hold this 495, and at worst, we should not give back this 494, because if it comes below this 494, you very well in this 4-hour candle could start to put in what looks like a reversal candle. Right now, it looks like you're setting up an inverted hammer, and it's got to pull down just a little bit more. But I could still see it coming down into this 49, according to this candle, 496, but I still see the opportunity of 494 possibly. These are very interesting candles here. The daily came down to support, and now it pulled all the way back up. And this, if it were to end right now, ironically, this could be starting to the top side here. We had a reversal candle yesterday. Today we had what looks like a fake out to the downside. And it looks like we've got a lot of room underneath. So, I mean, above if we were able to hold this. And underneath, as far as the relative strength index goes, we're in overbought in the daily. And if we start breaking to the downside, we've got a little bit of room to run up here. I can see 54 cents, like I've been saying the last couple of days, play out. We also know 42.75 in case this goes wrong. But right now, if you're looking for, I mean, we're on this top part here. And this could absolutely be a fake out. That's why I say watch this 494 area very closely if you're in this. Because if you break 494, that's not exactly the best thing in the world, because that could signal you right back down to about 475. But, you know, if you're watching these charts, that is obviously an opportune moment that could be playing out right now. We've got XLM right now up 1.4% at 11.2. And right now we're trying to push past this very key resistance at 11 cents. We know that's overwhelming. If it's on the bottom side of that, we can have big drops. If it's on the top side of that, we know that this is just a fake out. We can push all the way back up towards that 15-cent mark. But let's be real. If we get past this 11.3 area, we're going to be trying to push up towards that resistance again at 13 cents. And then we'll see what happens. But there is a very real possibility that this could break out a little bit. But I'm going to redefine this pattern, because for anybody watching for XLM, I can show you the shorter narrative here. Even with how we had these fake outs top and bottom, we're still within the same structure. So, like, let's just say we break out here. It's still going to come somewhere up there, but oops, we don't even need to have that, because if I'm looking at this with XLM, you got a nice resistance here. You got a nice resistance here. I think we can all see what's happening. If it can't break above that downtrending, we got some problems. And then furthermore, if you just look at it from a little bit smaller directive. But I like to come from back here. I want to see how this reacts if it happens to break to the top side of this pattern. And then obviously if you want to micromanage the pattern, the way I would do it is just like this. You got that top wick. Now you come down here and you just say, well, just see. So it basically lines up the same. So this short-term structure it's relevant only to get us back up to that downtrending resistance, to try to somehow push past that resistance. We can see we've got a bit of a resistance there. DGB's up 3.03% up to 1.294 cents. Still hasn't done anything major, but we're still trying to see if we are in fact working on a handle right now. And if we are, that 1-2 level should start to maintain. We did come down a couple times to 106, but if it is meant to maintain here, we'll come back above that 1-3 level approximately, and then start rotating up. The problem is we already came up to 2283 at one point. So whether we're going to have a little bit of a relief rally or continue consolidation is the key question. Let me get rid of some of that's the resistance. That's upper resistance. I'm trying to make this easier to see. That is an overwhelming resistance here that it's going to try to use resistance support. That is actually what it needs to hold right there. So we'll watch DGB more, but these were a lot of short-term. As you can see, we're in the weekly time frame here. But these are a lot of short-term narratives here as well that it started breaking out of. But we can start to overwhelmingly start to set this up where it's at in today's terms. Let me get rid of some of this. Try to make this easier. Let me get rid of this. Let me get rid of this. I like to show it in real time as well. I could do this on my own, but if I'm showing you guys the patterns and how I'm starting to evolve the pattern, I want you guys to at least see it, because before we had come through like that, and that's honestly, to look at the DGB pattern, that is all you need to do. If DGB gets rejected here, its next target, let's just say DGB gets rejected here at 133. Your next target's probably going to be come back down and retest 008. We've never in this pattern retested the breakout point properly. And we can see it looks like a unified head and shoulders pattern if this breaks down. Nice little bear flag here to the downside. Unless we can gain and garner some attention. If this plays out like that, that's a bear flag. And I can almost guarantee if you get it rejected here, you're coming into here. And then your pattern's going to look something like boom, ba-boom, ba-boom. And it makes perfect sense because this would be a right arm. Now, if we get on top of it you can start to transcend out. Your first target's going to be in here, right around 1.6. Then you'd have to break 1.77 on your way back to a potential double top. So just watch that uptrending resistance. Very simplistic. I wanted to take all that noise out so you could actually see what exactly was going on here. And that's the uptrending resistance. That needs to be broken for DGB to go bullish. So just pay attention to that. A little bit of time some would consider wasted. I think it's a treat that you get to see all of that analysis very quickly. Bitcoin's up 1,139 points. But before we get to Bitcoin, let me do the intro. If you're looking to trade XRP worldwide, look in the video description below. There's BITUNIX. It's in the video description below and our pinned comments. They have lowest spot and leverage trading fees in the USA, bar none. They're up during high times of volatility. And as you can see, we're below 50 cents. Get it right with your exchange. Don't pay them the exorbitant fees. If you buy an uphold right now, you get 54 less XRP on $1,000 than you get on BITUNIX. That comes out to about a $39 fee right now. That's 3.9%. I don't want to be paying 3.9% on the buy and sell. So out of $1,000, I lose 78 bucks just to make the buy and sell because I'm on uphold instead of an exchange that doesn't charge those high fees. Go to BITUNIX, no VPN ever. No matter where you're at in the world, don't feel like a criminal to trade XRP or other cryptos on the exchange. KYC only needed if you're looking to validate your verification. If you want to do KYC from a bank account, withdrawal or deposit, you need the KYC. Otherwise, you don't even need to do a KYC if you send from an exchange or withdraw to another exchange. So withdrawal or deposit by exchange, you don't need it. And then they're up during high times of volatility, and it's really changed my trading. So I'm looking for a swing trade here of about $3,900. If XRP maintains this support, and all I'd be looking for initially, and I know it sounds crazy, but when you're talking about 3,900 bucks, let's say it comes to 494. First area would be 20 or 2.58%. That's about a $100 move right there on a spot trade on 3,900. And then ultimately, if we could get this about 10% move, that could be anywhere. That trade is going to be anywhere between 110 to roughly 350 bucks. That's the kind of trade that is, and that's just on a spot trade. If you're doing around $4,000, 3,900. I built my BITUNIX up on trades. And right now it sits somewhere around 37 to 3,900. I haven't really paid attention since the last trade I sold because I don't like to look at it until I'm into the next trade. But I already own XRP for transparency. I'm talking about a swing trade here as well. So it would have to hold those parameters. And then obviously if I'm in a trade, I've already given the goods. If it comes below this at 494, I'm out if I were to be in this trade. Although there could be a wick, but I'm not looking to ride it all the way back down here. I'm looking for it to hold this breakout attempt and then push out. So with that being said, please make sure to hit that like button so YouTube recommends this update. There is a lot of details here. We're not going to do any kind of reading today. We're just going to focus on the technical analysis. And then after I do the intro, we'll get into Bitcoin and then I'll release this update. It's going to be a 20 to 22 minute update as normal in the morning. But I want everybody to be on the same page and have the same functional mindset this morning. If you are watching in my audience, don't play the victim, be a winner. We don't want haters. We want lovers in here, positivity over negativity. It's the only way to have a unified response. It really is. And I want to give a special shout out to the members of Tom's Army who, because of your generosity, I continue to be able to do this in a way that I appreciate. And if you want to show personal support, all I ask is one time per month you send a YouTube super chat or join Tom's Army, and in month 1 you get the emoji badge of me being abducted by aliens. My face is superimposed on that emoji badge. I kid you not. So good morning. 10:20 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Friday, April 19th, 2024. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. And for the ones asking, no, I did not cut my hair. Some people asked yesterday because my hair was actually wet when I did one of my updates, so it didn't look as long. But no, I did not cut my hair. For anybody who's wondering, I promised the audience I would not cut my hair last July until XRP hit $1. It was one, because I thought it'd be cool to show how long XRP is going to be under $1. But two, it was kind of a shot at all the ones who told me that I was insane for selling XRP at 166 and waiting for it to come back down sub 40 cents. So I figured, and this was in July, so it had been multi-months, 6-7 months under $1 already at this point. I figured it'd be cool to show what it looks like as my hair gets longer, as XRP hasn't hit $1 yet. For all of the influencers that said it was impossible never to go below $1, now these days it seems impossible to even hit $1. But this is part of the journey. This is part of the venture. And remember, it's not about the end result. It's about the journey getting there. See, there's always stories to tell of somebody who bought cheap and sold high. It's the story of what happened in between that is the real, that's what really matters. It's just like how the wick is the lie and the body tells the story. It's the same thing when you trade. The end result is the lie. It's not technically a lie, but the end result doesn't show you the struggle in between and what you would have to endure to get to where you're going. And the journey in the middle, that up and down, left and right, actually that was the fake. The up and down, left and right, because it was trying to absolve you from your position. And then the finality of it would be to see the end result. So it's about the journey in the middle to see what you sustain. So in any venture, if you work out and you're trying to get in shape, it's the end result. Everybody sees the beginning and the end, but nobody understands the struggle in the middle. That's the same thing when you trade. Everybody only wants that easy money. Nobody understands the amount of work, the amount of technical analysis, and the amount of dedication it takes to actually be on top of these patterns day in and day out. And that's why I can come on every single day and show show this analysis and show my opinion if you are a trader. But I'm showing you both sides because this is very volatile and it could go either way. Right now, Bitcoin's helping out a bit, being up 1.74%. It's never a bad thing when Bitcoin's up 1,100 points, up to 64,500. And if we're looking at this logically with Bitcoin, Bitcoin's on top of a very critical area of support right now. 64,000, when you're on top of this, you always have this chance now to push back up to upper resistance. We do need to break past, for transparency, 66,000 again, that key area, 66,100. Once you get on top of that, there's no resistance in between. And you very well could make a clear run up to 72K again. And as we can see, we very well could be getting a little hot here. And would we be surprised? The Bitcoin halvings in a couple, tomorrow? Is that tomorrow now? I think it's tomorrow. The 20th, if I'm not mistaken. Bitcoin halving puts focus on crypto education initiatives, yada, yada, yada. Let's see where the Bitcoin halving. Who cares about Binance Academy? All right, I'm just going to do a search because I don't got time for that BS. Bitcoin halving. I think it's tomorrow. April 19th and 20th. During the 2024 halving, the block. Yeah, so it's between today and tomorrow. So expect it, by tomorrow. So we should see some extreme volatility here. Now, if this is a pump and then a dump leading into the halving, this is very scary. This is very scary because if Bitcoin doesn't pump out of this, this is the last gasp here from the ones with the halving. But just remember, this is not hard to trade. If Bitcoin's above 63,000, 64,000, beautiful. If Bitcoin's below 63,900, not beautiful. See, there's a 100-point gap there. If Bitcoin's above 64,000, trades are good. Because then at any point, it can try to compete here with 66,000 and run its way up. But you understand, if you're over 64,000, there's still room here of about 1,700 points if it's over. If you fall below 64,000, that's an issue. Just like when we first came on, I told everybody when XRP was around 50 cents. 494 is the area to capitalize on if you get a drop down, especially from leverage point of view, because then you got 494. Let's say if it drops to 491, you should already be out, because if it invalidates this 4-hour candle and starts to make it look like a reversal, that's not a good thing. But this is with Bitcoin. So we're trying to hold this part of the bull flag. This is the bull flag when you're within it, FYI. And anytime you're in it, you can go up to 86,269 at any point when you're below it. Once that broadening wedge is lost, which is those blue lines, that would be the support at around 57K. It used to be resistance. Anytime that's lost, you can drop down to 49,537. So it opens up an 8,000 point drop when you get below the broadening wedge. Right now, we're trying to see if we can teeter around 64,000, and pay very close attention to this update, because I've shown you a lot of key takeaways here about if you're going long and what you need to look for and a potential that this breaks through. We just happen to be on at a time right now where what I was talking about 20 minutes ago now is starting to play out. We talked about at the start of this opening, if we were going to take a shot, you'd wait until around the 494 area, even 495 but I like 494. But right in this area to make sure. 495 you could do it, but once it breaks below 494, that becomes a problem. See how this is starting to put a wick down below? Unless this is a sneaky inverted hammer, this could be the start of making a long leg doji here. And then it would take what looks like a bullish candle and turn it bearish. So that's why it's you got to be very careful right now. Especially with the halving today into tomorrow, the 19th and the 20th. You got to be very careful. The fact we're not pumping going into it and we had a nice correction could be telling. Bitcoin right now is teetering on 64,000. XRP is teetering on this buy-in area. And then the stop loss is so close if you bought that you have to pay attention to a more minute level. I'm XRP Future Millionaire. I really want to release this update so everybody can see what we're talking about here. I want everybody to see where XRP is at on this pattern formation. And the mixed signals we're getting right now. If this pulls down any farther and we end up finding ourselves under that 494, this could very well start turning into a long leg doji. And if that's the case, it could be a reversal again. Right now, though, you can be optimistic because it's on top of 494 and on top of that, where it could create this mini bull flag on top of a much larger bear flag, which it very well could need to come up to 542 to absolve any kind of, I call them relief rallies after a big drop like we had. But it almost seems like we want to come up there to fill those gaps. Although we did come back up after, so it's not exactly a gigantic gap. It's actually a little bit higher than that. But it's possible we come up here, we start filling this out. Otherwise, like I said, we're in this danger zone, though. Right now is that area where if somebody was to take it, they'd be like, all right, it's at 494. But like I said, when it comes down here, you have the very real chance. And in the 3-hourly, you can see 492. But in the 4-hourly, you can very clearly see how this is doing exactly what we were fearing. If it comes down further like this, this could very well be a long leg doji. So as of right now, you'd have to be very ballsy to take a trade right now. But if you're doing it, please, if you're going long, do not do it in leverage. Look at this. This has already come down so far during this live that now it's turning into exactly what we were fearing, that it would be a long leg doji, and that's actually a reversal candle to the downside. So let's see if this can play bullish or not, but right now be very cautious on a trade to the long side, because right now Bitcoin is teetering on 64K, and if you were at an opportune moment, this would be the exact moment. But obviously, below at 492, if you're buying from here, you can't be in long if it goes to the downside. This has to hold this trend line. Otherwise, this is going to be a disaster. I'm going to release this. Have a blessed morning, everybody. Make sure to hit that like button so YouTube recommends this update. And if you made it until the end, hashtag be better, do better in the comments.